The notification from my banking app felt like a slap across my face. Zero balance. Not just low, not overdrawn, completely empty. I blinked hard, refreshed the screen 3 times, but those stark digits wouldn't change. My entire college fund, gone. I'm Ariel. And until 10 minutes ago, I was a normal 19-year-old college sophomore with decent grades and semi-reliable Wi-Fi in my dorm room. Now I'm just another broke student, except this isn't about maxing out credit cards on late-night pizza runs. This is theft, pure and simple, and I know exactly who's behind it. Everything okay? My roommate Liam glanced up from his textbook, probably noticing how I'd stopped breathing. You look like you've seen a ghost. Worse. My voice came out strangled. My stepmother just robbed me blind. He set down his highlighter. What are you talking about? The money my mom left me for college. It's gone. All $30,000. My hands started shaking as I pulled up the transaction history. Look at these withdrawals. They started small just after Dad married Karen. 1,000 here, 2,000 there. But this last one? I thrust the phone at him. She cleaned out everything yesterday. Jesus. Liam scrolled through the statements. But how did she even get access? Dad made her a co-signer when they got married. Said it was just in case of emergencies. I laughed, but it sounded more like choking. Guess she decided my entire future qualified as an emergency. My phone buzzed. Speaking of the devil. Karen's text popped up, sugary, sweet as always. Hope classes are going well, sweetie. Your father and I were thinking of visiting next weekend. Miss you. I wanted to throw up. 3 years she'd been worming her way into our lives, playing the perfect stepmother while systematically destroying everything my real mom had built. The savings account was just the latest casualty. You need to call your dad, Liam said, still staring at my phone. Right now. He won't believe me. I grabbed my jacket, needing to move, to do something. He never does when it comes to her. It's like she's got him under some kind of spell. Then what are you going to do? I stopped at the door, my hand clenched around the handle. I'm going to destroy her. Not just expose what she did. I'm going to take everything from her, piece by piece, just like she's done to me. By the time I'm finished, she'll wish she'd never heard my name. Ariel, wait. But I was already gone, racing down the hallway with my heart pounding in my ears. I needed to think, to plan. Karen was smart. She'd covered her tracks, probably had some perfectly reasonable explanation ready for Dad about why she'd borrowed the money. Direct confrontation wouldn't work. I needed proof, ammunition, something that would make even my love-blind father see her for what she really was. My phone buzzed again. Another text from Karen. By the way, sweetie, I handled that little financial situation we discussed. No need to worry about anything. I stopped dead in the middle of the quad, staring at those words. She wasn't even trying to hide it. This was a power play. Her way of showing me she could take whatever she wanted, and there wasn't a damn thing I could do about it. But she was wrong. Dead wrong. Because she'd forgotten one crucial detail about me. I'm my mother's daughter. And my mom? She taught me that sometimes the best revenge isn't served cold. It's served with a smile, one careful piece at a time until there's nothing left but ashes. I took a screenshot of the text, saved it to a new folder labeled Evidence, and started walking again. I had work to do. 3 days after discovering my empty account, I sat across from my father at our favorite diner, watching him stir his coffee with mechanical precision. 1, 2, 3 turns, always the same. Some things never changed, others changed too much. I don't understand what you're implying, Ariel. His voice was tired, defensive. Karen would never... Look at the transactions yourself. I slid my phone across the sticky tabletop. It's all there. Every withdrawal, every transfer. She's been bleeding my account dry for months. He barely glanced at the screen. There must be some explanation. Karen handles all our finances now. She's very organized, very careful with money. That's exactly the problem. I leaned forward, lowering my voice. She's been too careful, too organized about systematically stealing my college fund. Don't use that word. His knuckles whitened around his coffee cup. Your stepmother loves you. She's done nothing but try to help this family since Mom died? The words hung between us like smoke. Is that what you were going to say? A waitress appeared, notepad ready. Dad ordered his usual scrambled eggs, wheat toast. I shook my head when she turned to me. My appetite had vanished the moment he'd started defending Karen. I know this has been hard, he said after the waitress left. The adjustment, accepting Karen into our lives. But she's my wife now, and what about my future? My voice cracked. How am I supposed to pay for next semester? My rent? My books? He shifted uncomfortably. We'll figure something out. Karen mentioned she had some ideas about financial aid, maybe a student loan. I laughed, sharp and bitter. Of course she does, because now that she's stolen my money, she wants me in debt too. More control, right? That's enough. He set his cup down hard enough to slosh coffee onto the table. I won't sit here and listen to you accuse Karen of what? The truth? I pulled up another screen on my phone. Did you know she's been meeting with some woman named Maya twice a week? Always at that little cafe on 4th Street, always right after she visits her yoga class. Which, by the way, doesn't exist. I checked. His face paled slightly. You've been following her? No, but Sophie works at that cafe. She's seen them together, heard bits of their conversations. Something about investments, Dad. Big ones. Where do you think that money came from? Before he could answer, my phone buzzed. A text from Karen. Hope you're having a nice breakfast with your father, sweetie. Don't forget we have that family dinner tonight. Maya's coming too. Isn't that exciting? My hands started shaking. She knew. Somehow she already knew I was here with Dad, trying to expose her. And now she was flaunting her connection to Maya, daring me to make something of it. I have to go. I stood up abruptly, grabbing my jacket. Apparently I have a family dinner to prepare for. Ariel, wait. Dad reached for my arm, but I pulled away. You know what the worst part is? I looked down at him, this man who used to be my protector. You're not even curious. You don't even want to know if I'm right. I left him there with his cooling coffee and his carefully maintained illusions. Outside, another text waited. By the way, I took the liberty of handling that financial aid paperwork for you. The interest rates are a bit high, but beggars can't be choosers, can they? I saved the message with the others, my hands steady now. Karen wanted to play games? Fine. But she'd forgotten something crucial about family dinners. They were perfect opportunities to gather intelligence. And with Maya there too? I smiled, already planning my approach. Sometimes the best way to destroy someone was to let them think they were winning, right up until the moment they lost everything. The family dinner was a masterclass in manufactured normalcy. Karen floated around our dining room like a game show host, all perfect smile and calculated charm, while Maya watched everything with those shrewd eyes of hers. I picked at my food, counting the times they exchanged glances when they thought no one was looking. Ariel's been so focused on her studies lately, Karen said, refilling Maya's wine glass. Haven't you, sweetie? Though I worry sometimes about all that pressure. It's getting harder, I admitted, watching her face. Especially with the recent financial challenges. Maya's fork paused halfway to her mouth. Oh, I thought everything was arranged for your tuition? It was. I smiled, matching Karen's sweetness with my own. Until someone emptied my college fund. The silence that followed was exquisite. Dad stared at his plate, Karen's smile flickered for just a second, and Maya, interesting. Maya looked genuinely surprised. More wine, Karen? Maya's voice had an edge I hadn't noticed before. You seem a bit pale. Actually, Karen set down the bottle with careful precision. I need to show you something in the study, Maya. About that investment opportunity we discussed. They disappeared down the hallway, leaving me alone with Dad. He started clearing plates with mechanical movements, like a robot running on autopilot. Did you notice? I asked quietly. Maya didn't know about the money. Ariel, please. No, think about it. Karen's supposed best friend, her confidant, had no idea about my college fund. Doesn't that seem strange to you? Before he could answer, raised voices drifted from the study. I moved closer to the hallway, straining to hear. This wasn't part of the plan. Maya's whisper was sharp. You said the money was from your savings. Keep your voice down, Karen hissed. It's temporary. Once the deal closes, there is no deal. Papers rustled. The whole thing's falling apart and now you've dragged me into theft. It's not theft. I'm her stepmother. I have authority. Legal authority isn't moral authority, Karen. And when Mark finds out, he won't. The certainty in Karen's voice made my blood run cold. I pulled out my phone, hit record, and edged closer to the study door. What do you mean? Maya asked. Because you're going to help me fix this. Tonight. Bring the papers. We'll transfer everything through your accounts. By morning, it'll be untraceable. I can't. You can, and you will. Unless you want everyone to know about Phoenix. The silence that followed was heavy with meaning. I Googled Phoenix and Maya Thompson quickly, but nothing significant came up. You wouldn't. Maya's voice shook. That was 15 years ago. Try me. I backed away from the door, mind racing. Whatever Phoenix was, it was Maya's weakness. And now, potentially, Karen's undoing. I sent a quick text to Sophie. Need your help. Research project. Keywords, Maya Thompson. Phoenix, Bime. 15 years ago. Karen and Maya emerged from the study, their composed faces betrayed by tight shoulders and clenched hands. I was already back at the table, helping Dad with the dishes. Everything okay? I asked innocently. You were gone a while. Perfect, Karen chirped. Maya and I have some exciting plans in the works, don't we? Maya nodded stiffly. Yes, very exciting. My phone buzzed. Sophie had found something. I glanced at the screen and felt my heart skip. The headline was from 15 years ago. Phoenix investment firm collapse. Junior partner Maya Thompson cleared of fraud charges. I looked up to find Karen watching me, her eyes sharp behind her perfect smile. She knew I'd heard something, but she didn't know what. Not yet. I should go. Maya gathered her things quickly. Early meeting tomorrow. As she hurried past me, I caught her arm. It was nice meeting you properly, I said softly. I'd love to hear more about your investment experience sometime, especially your early career. She yanked her arm away like I'd burned her. Karen's wine glass creaked in her grip. I headed upstairs, but not before catching Maya's parting words at the door. Fix this, Karen. Fix it now. In my room, I added the recording to my evidence folder and started a new document titled Phoenix. Karen thought she was the only one who could play this game. She was about to learn otherwise. The Phoenix story was bigger than I'd imagined. Sophie and I sat in her cramped break room at the cafe, scrolling through archived news articles about the investment firm's collapse. 15 years ago, Maya Thompson had been the youngest partner at Phoenix Investments, until $50 million vanished overnight. She was cleared of all charges, Sophie pointed out, tapping the screen. But look at this quote from the prosecutor. Lack of evidence doesn't equal innocence. My coffee had gone cold. And now she's helping Karen move my money around. Perfect. The cafe's bell chimed. I glanced up and froze. Karen was walking in, phone pressed to her ear. Sophie shoved me behind the storage shelves just as Karen's voice carried across the room. The transfer has to happen tonight, Maya. Yes, I know it's risky, but we don't have a choice anymore. She's getting too close. I held my breath, pressing against boxes of coffee beans. Sophie pretended to wipe tables nearby, angling herself to hear better. The account in the Caymans is ready. No, Mark doesn't suspect anything. He still thinks it's just about Ariel's college fund. My hands clenched. Just about my college fund? What else had she taken? Meet me at the usual place at 8. Bring everything. And Maya? Remember Phoenix? We both know what happens to whistleblowers. Karen's heels clicked toward the exit. I waited until the bell chimed again before emerging, my whole body shaking. Did you record any of that? Sophie whispered. I shook my head, cursing myself. But it doesn't matter. They're meeting tonight. If I can get proof of what they're planning. My phone buzzed. Dad calling. I almost ignored it until I saw his text. Need to talk. Important. About your mother's life insurance. The world tilted sideways. Mom's life insurance was supposed to be untouchable, in a separate account that only Dad could access. Unless... I have to go. I grabbed my bag, mind racing. Can you cover for me at study group tonight? Sophie caught my arm. Ariel, wait. This is getting serious. Maybe we should tell someone. Tell who? The police? With what proof? I pulled away. Tonight's my chance to get actual evidence. I just need to figure out where their usual place is. The old boathouse. She said quietly. Karen and Maya always walk down that path after their meetings here. I've seen them. I hugged her quickly and ran. Dad was waiting at our old spot by the river, looking older than I'd ever seen him. The insurance money's gone, he said before I could speak. All of it. Karen said there was an investment opportunity. Time sensitive. I trusted her. How much? My voice sounded strange, distant. 200,000. He stared at the water. Your mother wanted that money to take care of you, and I let Karen... When did you sign the papers? Yesterday. But Ariel, I swear I didn't know about your college fund then. Karen said, stop telling me what Karen said. The words exploded out of me. She's stealing everything, Dad. Everything Mom left us, and you're letting her. His face crumpled. I'll fix this. Somehow No. I stepped back, seeing everything clearly for the first time. I'll fix it. Tonight. What does that mean? Ariel? But I was already walking away, pulling up the recording app on my phone. 8 o'clock. The boathouse. One chance to expose everything. My phone buzzed again. Karen. Sweetie, your father seems upset. Remember, family matters should stay in the family. We wouldn't want him to have another stress attack, would we? The threat was clear. She'd use Dad's health against me if I pushed too hard. But she'd forgotten something crucial. I wasn't just fighting for myself anymore. This was about Mom now. About protecting everything she'd left us. I typed back. You're right, Karen. Family matters should stay in the family. Let her think she'd won. In 6 hours, I'd have proof of everything. And then we'd see what happened to people who stole from the dead. The boathouse loomed ahead, a dark shape against the evening sky. I crouched behind a cluster of bushes, phone ready to record, watching Karen pace near the weathered dock. She checked her watch every few minutes, her movements sharp with anxiety. Maya arrived at 8:15, clutching a leather portfolio. This is insane, she hissed. The accounts are being flagged. We need to... Just show me the papers. Karen snatched the portfolio. Everything's prepared? Yes, but... Maya glanced around nervously. Karen, listen. That girl knows something. I saw her researching Phoenix. Let her research. Karen's laugh was brittle. By tomorrow, the money will be untraceable. And Ariel? She'll learn what happens when you dig too deep into other people's business. My finger hovered over the record button, but a twig snapped behind me. I spun around to find Liam, of all people, crouching there. What are you doing here? I whispered furiously. Sophie told me what you were planning. He grabbed my arm. This is dangerous, Ariel. These women are thieves, I yanked away. And I'm getting proof. Karen's voice carried across the darkness. The transfer's ready. Once it goes through, we'll have 48 hours before... A phone rang, cutting through the night. My phone. Dad's ringtone. I fumbled to silence it, but the damage was done. Someone's here. Maya's panic was visible even from this distance. Karen's head snapped toward our hiding spot. Check the trees. Liam pulled me up. Run. We crashed through the underbrush. Behind us, footsteps pounded on the dock. I clutched my phone, trying to keep it steady, still recording. If I could just get enough... Ariel. Karen's voice cracked like a whip. I can see you. Stop right there. I ran faster, but Liam stumbled. I turned back to help him up and found myself staring into Karen's eyes. She stood 10 feet away, Maya behind her, both illuminated by the rising moon. "Give me the phone." Karen's voice was eerily calm. "Now." "Or what?" I stepped in front of Liam. "You'll steal from me again?" "Too late." "You don't understand what you're dealing with." Maya's voice shook. "This is bigger than your college fund." "I know about Phoenix." The words shot out before I could stop them. "I know what happened 15 years ago. The missing millions." "Shut up." Maya lurched forward, but Karen caught her arm. "It's fine." Karen smiled, and something in that smile made my blood freeze. "Ariel's smart. She understands self-preservation. Don't you, sweetie?" She pulled out her own phone, tapped the screen. "Your father's blood pressure has been so high lately. Imagine what another shock might do to his heart. Finding out his daughter was arrested for harassment, perhaps? Or learning about that little drug problem she's been hiding?" "What drug problem?" "The one these pills in your room suggest." She held up a small bag. Amazing what people will believe with the right evidence, especially grieving fathers who trust their wives completely. My hand started shaking. "You wouldn't. Try me." She extended her hand. "The phone. Now." Liam touched my shoulder. "Ariel, don't." Tick-tock. Karen wiggled her fingers. "Choose wisely. Your father's health or your little revenge fantasy." I looked at my phone, still recording. Everything I needed was probably there. The transfer plans, the threats, all of it. But Dad's face flashed through my mind, pale and drawn by the river. Another shock could kill him. Karen knew that. She'd planned for it. Smart girl. Karen took my phone, dropped it on the dock, and crushed it under her heel. "Now, let's be clear. You will stay quiet. You will smile at dinner and play the dutiful daughter. And if you ever try something like this again..." She left the threat hanging. Maya wouldn't meet my eyes as they walked away, leaving me and Liam in the darkness. "I'm sorry," he whispered, but I barely heard him. Because while Karen was gloating, while she was crushing my phone, she hadn't noticed me slip Maya's dropped portfolio under my jacket. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about confrontation. Sometimes it's about waiting for your enemy to underestimate you. I hugged the portfolio closer. "Let's go. We have work to do." Maya's portfolio revealed everything. Account numbers, transfer records, even emails discussing the Phoenix scandal. But as I stared at the documents spread across Liam's dorm room floor, my hands wouldn't stop shaking. The scope of Karen's scheme was staggering. She hadn't just stolen my college fund, she'd been systematically draining every account connected to our family for years. "This is way bigger than we thought," Liam said, scanning another document. "These offshore accounts..." A knock at the door cut him off. Sophie burst in, face pale. "Karen's here, on campus. She's talking to the dean right now." My stomach dropped. "About what?" "About you." Sophie's voice cracked. "She's showing them evidence that you've been stealing from her accounts. Says you've been forging signatures, making unauthorized transfers. She has documentation, Ariel. It looks real." The room tilted sideways. Of course Karen would flip the script, make me look like the thief. And she had the resources to make it stick. My phone buzzed. Dad calling again. I answered on speaker. "The police are here," he said without preamble. "They have questions about your access to our accounts. Karen's crying, saying she tried to help you with a gambling problem, that you..." "Dad, she's lying. I have proof." "They have proof too." His voice broke. "Security footage of you at banks, withdrawal slips with your signature. Karen says she was trying to protect you, keep it in the family, but those signatures are forged." But even as I said it, I remembered Karen's smirk at the boathouse. She'd been planning this all along. A sharp knock echoed through the phone. Dad's voice dropped to a whisper. "They have a warrant, Ariel, for your arrest. Karen's pressing charges." The call ended. I stared at the documents scattered around us, my evidence, my proof. But Karen had beaten me to it. twisted everything to make me look guilty. We need to get these somewhere safe. Liam started gathering papers, but another knock at the door froze us all. Campus security. Open up. Sophie grabbed my arm. The window, now. But the evidence, leave it. She shoved my backpack at me. You can't help anyone if you're arrested. The knocking grew louder. Through the door, I heard Karen's voice. She's unstable, officer. Ever since her mother died. I grabbed the most damning documents and shoved them in my bag. The rest? I met Liam's eyes. He nodded, understanding. As I slipped out the window, he started feeding papers into his shredder. The metal fire escape clanged under my feet. Below, red and blue lights flashed in the parking lot. Campus security at the front, police cars blocking the exits. Karen had trapped me. My phone buzzed one last time. A text from an unknown number. Should have taken the deal at the boathouse. Say hello to Phoenix for me. I reached the ground just as shouts erupted above. Heavy footsteps on the fire escape. They'd found my escape route. I ran, clutching my backpack, but every exit was blocked. Karen had thought of everything. A car horn honked softly. Sophie's beat-up Honda idled in the shadows. Get in, she hissed. I dove into the passenger seat. As we pulled away, I caught a glimpse of Karen watching from the dorm entrance. She wasn't smirking anymore. Her face was cold, calculated. Where are we going? I asked as Sophie took back roads, avoiding main streets. My aunt's cabin, 2 hours north. No one knows about it. She glanced at me. But Ariel, you can't run forever. I'm not running. I pulled out the documents I'd saved. I'm regrouping. Karen thinks she's won, that she's destroyed my credibility. But she forgot something important. What's that? I opened the oldest paper, dated 15 years ago. A Phoenix Investments internal memo signed by Karen Thompson, not Karen Mitchell, her current name. Maya's portfolio hadn't just contained recent records, it had contained Karen's original sins. She forgot that sometimes the past comes back to haunt you. I traced Karen's signature, my mother's words echoing in my head. The truth always finds its way to the light. And I'm going to make sure it does. 3 days at Sophie's aunt's cabin gave me time to piece everything together. Karen Thompson hadn't just been involved in the Phoenix scandal, she'd orchestrated it. The signatures, the missing millions, all of it led back to her. She'd changed her name, reinvented herself, and found her next mark. My father. I waited until the charity gala, Karen's crowning social event of the year. The ballroom sparkled with local elite, everyone who was anyone watching Karen hold court near the donation table. My father stood beside her, smiling that vacant smile I'd grown to hate. Security's going to recognize you, Sophie whispered as we slipped through the service entrance. Are you sure? They're looking for a desperate college student. I smoothed down my borrowed evening gown. Not a major donor's daughter. Maya spotted me first. Her champagne glass slipped, splashing her dress. Karen turned at the commotion, and for one beautiful moment, her perfect mask cracked. Quite a party, I said, approaching them, though it's nothing compared to the Phoenix investment celebration 15 years ago. Remember that one, Karen? Or should I say Karen Thompson? The nearby conversation stuttered to silence. Karen's laugh was brittle. Ariel, sweetie, you're confused. And causing a scene. No more scenes. I pulled out my phone, connected it to the ballroom's presentation screen. Just truth. The Phoenix memo appeared, Karen's old signature stark against white. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Dad stepped forward, frowning. What is this? Ask your wife about the $50 million that vanished that night. My voice carried across the suddenly silent room. Ask her where your insurance money really went. Or my college fund. Or any of it. That's enough. Karen grabbed my arm, but I twisted away. Maya kept everything, didn't you, Maya? Every document, every transaction. Insurance, I guess. Against the day Karen turned on you, too. Maya backed away, shaking her head. I never meant, show them. Karen's voice was steel. Show them your evidence and watch me destroy what's left of your reputation, your father's health, everything. I smiled, my mother's smile. Go ahead, because I already sent everything to the FBI. Phoenix's cold case unit reopened the investigation this morning. They're very interested in talking to Karen Thompson. The room erupted. Karen lunged for my phone, but Dad caught her arm. His face had gone gray. Karen? What is she talking about? Mark, she's lying. She's sick. She needs help. Like you helped the investors at Phoenix? I projected another document. Or like you helped yourself to their money. Security was moving through the crowd now, but not toward me. Two men in suits flashed badges at the entrance. Karen saw them, and something final broke behind her eyes. You don't understand, she hissed. I deserved that money. I built Phoenix from nothing, and they were going to push me out. Just like you're trying to do now. You're just like your mother, always judging, always thinking you're better. Don't talk about my mother. The words came out razor sharp. She saw through you from the beginning, didn't she? That's why you had to wait until she was gone. Karen Mitchell? One of the agents approached. We need you to come with us. The mask shattered completely. Karen whirled on my father, desperate. Mark, please. Everything I did was for us. To give us security. A future. But Dad was staring at the documents still cycling on screen. Bank statements, transfer records, the systematic destruction of everything my mother had built for us. Take her, he said quietly. As they led Karen away, Maya caught my eye. I should have stopped her sooner. After Phoenix. I was a coward. Yes, I agreed. You were. The second agent gestured to Maya. We'll need to speak with you too, Ms. Thompson. I watched them go, feeling strangely hollow. Dad touched my shoulder, his hand shaking. Ariel, I'm so sorry. I should have seen, not here. I turned away from the wreckage of Karen's perfect life. We have a lot to talk about, but not here. Outside, the night air was cool and clean. Sophie waited by her car, and beyond her I could see Liam pulling up. My friends, my real family. Was it worth it? Sophie asked quietly. I thought about Karen's face when the truth finally caught her. About my mother's insurance money, meant to secure my future. About justice, revenge, and the thin line between them. Ask me tomorrow, I said, and walked toward whatever came next. The box of my mother's belongings sat untouched in Dad's study for 3 years. While Karen's trial made headlines and Maya cooperated with prosecutors, I finally found the courage to open it. Beneath old photos and birthday cards, I found a sealed envelope with my name written in Mom's careful script. The paper felt fragile, like it might crumble along with my composure. You don't have to read it now, Dad said from the doorway. He looked older, but clearer somehow, like fog had lifted from his eyes. Or ever. Yes, I do. The letter was dated 2 weeks before she died. My dearest Ariel, I see the shadows gathering around our family. Karen's interest in your father isn't what it seems. I've done some digging. There's a pattern here, a history of calculated moves. By the time you read this, you'll probably know what I mean, but that's not why I'm writing. I'm writing because I know you, sweetheart. I know your fierce heart and your sense of justice. Whatever Karen does, remember this. Revenge is a mirror. Look too long at your enemy's darkness, and you might find it reflecting back. Choose wisdom over vengeance. Choose healing over hatred. I trust you to find the right path. All my love, Mom. I set the letter down, hands steady despite the trembling in my chest. Dad waited, patient with my silence. She knew, I finally said. About Karen. About everything. She was trying to warn me. And protect you. Dad picked up an old photo. Mom and me at the beach, laughing at something long forgotten. Like you protected me in the end, even when I didn't deserve it. You deserved the truth, which you gave me at great cost. He set the photo down carefully. The FBI found most of the money. Once everything's settled, your college fund will be restored. But Ariel, Was it worth it? The cost to you? To your spirit? I thought about Karen in handcuffs, her mask finally shattered. About Maya's tearful testimony and the weight of secrets finally spoken. About my own transformation from victim to avenger and back again. I don't know, I admitted. But Mom was right about the mirror. Sometimes I look at myself and see pieces of Karen, the calculation, the cold precision of revenge. You're nothing like her. Maybe not, but I understand her better now. The need for control, for power. It's seductive. A knock at the study door. Sophie and Liam, right on time. They'd been my anchors through everything, keeping me from drifting too far into darkness. Ready? Sophie asked softly. I nodded, tucking Mom's letter into my pocket. We had a study group to get to. Normal life waiting to resume. But first, Dad? I turned back. Mom also wrote something else. On the back. He took the envelope with trembling hands, found the final lines. P.S. Mark, when you read this, remember that forgiveness isn't weakness. It's the strongest choice we can make, even for ourselves. Dad's breath caught. I left him there with Mom's wisdom, heading out into the spring sunshine with my friends. The weight of revenge had lifted, leaving something quieter in its place. Not peace exactly, but possibility. My phone buzzed, a news alert about Karen's case. I deleted it without reading. She'd lost everything she'd schemed for, but I didn't need to watch her fall anymore. Mom was right about mirrors, about choices. You okay? Liam asked as we walked. I thought about the letter in my pocket, about paths chosen and prices paid, about justice versus vengeance and the thin line between. I'm ready, I said, and meant it. Ready to stop looking back, to stop letting Karen's shadow darken my future. Ready to choose wisdom over vengeance, just as Mom had hoped. Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. Sometimes it's simply living well, carrying the right memories, and knowing when to set the mirror down.